ends up having to be in the podcast anyway. So greetings and welcome to the podcast. I'm here with Colin for Video Game Book Club. The rules are simple. One person picks a game. You got to beat that game in a month. Then you get to pick the next game for everyone once your month comes around. What was the game?
Dave the Diver.
Dave the Diver. We're going to start off on sound design because I don't know. I keep forgetting how that came about, how we start on sound design.
There's usually nothing to talk about.
Yeah, Hot Pepper Tuna, hit of the century. Found out that song came out 9 years ago.
Wait, really?
Yeah, it's by this guy named Goke. I don't know if that's how you actually say it, but it's Goghk.
So it wasn't made for this game.
It was not made for this game. I was actually kind of bummed out when I realized it wasn't made for this game. But Hot Pepper Tuna,
it fits so well, though.
Yeah,
they definitely made the character. The character's made around the song, then for sure.
Oh yeah.
Well, sort of.
A little bit. Well, I'm pissed that he still wanted vegetable soup after all the Hot Pepper Tuna stuff. But Hot Pepper Tuna is an absolute banger.
That's the only. I mean, there's sea sounds.
Yeah.
There's some relaxing sea tones.
Well, that's part of what I got to talk about with this game. The music overall, very relaxing, very smooth, very calm. Makes shit drag on, dude. Like I was falling asleep. I was literally leaning out my chair playing this game.
There is a couple times like my only thought in this game was like, it's relaxing.
Yeah.
Like it's just a chill game. Like there was not a lot of thought going on. I'm just kind of swimming around. There's no real danger.
Yeah.
Which isn't a bad thing per se, but it does make it feel like the game's like a million hours long sometimes.
Yeah. This is one of those like fucking Sims game, you know? Like something to just turn your brain off, and it's great for that. Like you don't get put into danger unless A, you're pushed through the story and the story puts you in danger, or if you actively go out searching for it. Like you could just float around for hours.
And there's a lot of shit in this game.
Oh my god, yeah. A lot of shit.
Like just from the beginning it seems like okay, there's like a cooking thing and there's like a fishing thing, and then there's like 70. This game has like 70 different game types.
Yeah.
Throughout the game.
Which okay, we'll save that. Also for sound design, the anime shit, like I liked all of that shit. The fucking any stuff with like Fat Brad. There's a weapons dealer and he loves this. He loves anime and he's a weird weeb guy that likes figurines. And
that guy also the most Brad move. Jumping way ahead. But this is the most Brad shit ever. I laughed in my head so hard because this is exactly what happened. Everyone gets together and this dude doesn't show up. He sits at home because he needs to receive a package.
Yeah, and he gets it.
I was like, oh, yeah, I'm like, yep. Sounds real familiar. It really fits in with the whole archetype.
Yeah. But, yeah, I really do like the soundtrack. I think that every song on the soundtrack is pretty tight and serves its purpose. I just wish they had like a little bit more going on in the soundtrack when it came to like leisurely swimming.
Especially the glacial area. I was like, that shit was putting me to sleep.
Well, glacial area sometimes had no music.
Really? Like, I don't. Maybe it didn't. I don't remember.
But yeah, like this is a great before bedtime fucking game. Graphics, I love them. Yeah, I love
the cutscenes are crazy good.
Yeah, when you start enhancing dishes, dude, like
it goes nuts, dude. You see the fish in the background.
Yeah, there is so much charm in this game. It's like overflowing with charm.
That's probably the number one thing for this game is charm. It's what it does best.
Yeah, and there's like
the characters are crazy, the cutscenes.
Yeah, there's like 6 different cutscenes for like each individual thing, you know? It's like you'll enhance and then your samurai chef guy will like get his sword out and cut it, you know, or sometimes he'll be like meditating and then it'll zoom in on a fish and it'll be scared and shit, you know, like
Or anytime you make a dish for like a special character, they have their own cutscene for how much they enjoy the fucking food.
yeah, they do like a Food Wars-esque thing where they fucking cum their pants. Um there was Michael Bang. Like
Oh,
there's
I didn't
references
realize that
everywhere.
after. I'm like, this is supposed to be Michael Bay, and then I was like, oh, it's Michael Bang. I'm like, yeah, and he's like
Yeah.
explosions.
Yeah, there's a whole bunch of stuff. There's a really dark character where this chick, the chick that talks with the doll.
Oh, the traumatized kid.
Yeah, the traumatized kid whose dad died or whatever the fuck or left or whatever, dude. Like way out of left field. Like and they say right out, like they do a lot of that where they just say something right out. They're like, "Oh, she's probably talking about the doll like through the doll cuz she has childhood trauma." Like they do that all the time with like everything. Um Lots of fourth wall breaking. Like at the very end he's like, "Well, it's an RPG." Or some shit
Yeah,
like that.
he's like, yeah, you better prepare because it's not an RPG, but in those games, this is where you stock up on stuff.
Yeah. But no, graphics are great. There's one thing I did not like, and it almost made me like a little bit nauseous. Is the forced motion blur because you're always underwater and shit, and shit's like kind of
Yeah.
gyrating a little bit. But when you hit the sea people level and go through those portals, it gets
Oh,
really blurry.
you know what? That did make me feel like weird. It probably is because it's like all blurry in
Yeah,
that area, and you spend like a good amount of time there.
yeah. Well, again, we'll talk about that. Fetch Quest City, as I like to call it. Um, But yeah, graphics are great. The pixel graphics are good, and they fucking do so much with it, dude. Like,
And they incorporate the 3D well, with like the boats are all 3D, and there's like some of the bigger monsters are 3D.
yeah, um, yeah, big monsters are 3D too, and some fish, like when I first saw a shark, I'm like, oh shit, dude. Because scaling is good too. It's like you're Dave, you're this fat little diver, and then you see a megalodon shark, dude, and it's fucking huge. Um, the the story.
Uh, it's it's okay.
There's a
It's
tree.
Yeah, it's pretty like stereotypical. It's just carried by the characters because the characters are like top, 10 out of 10 level in my opinion.
Yeah.
And they keep introducing characters. They got Ash Ketchum.
Yeah, Fat Ash Ketchum, which you don't do anything with the cards. Did you have a card minigame?
No,
I didn't have a card minigame either.
his whole thing is he just steals them from you. Because every
Yeah.
time you get a sick one, he's like, "Yeah, I'm just gonna share that real quick." And thanks, dude.
Yeah. No, well, I guess yeah, we could talk about that in story. They just keep introducing like a new fucking thing every 20 minutes, dude. It's like you start off and you're a diver. It's like okay, and then you run sushi at night. You never fucking sleep. You sleep for like 3 hours.
Yeah, because the whole thing is you're working the sushi for free sushi. Like you just want to eat sushi, so you're catching fish to eat sushi for free by
Yeah.
working it. That's like the whole premise, and then it goes left field instantly.
Yeah, because then you find like mermaids and shit, and like there's a crash. First, there's a crashed like ship that you gotta settle the wreckage on that, and then there's sea people, and then the sea people have a tree, and then you get this fucking auto guy, and he starts a farm. So now you got a farm and a sushi place, and you're a diver, and then you're going into the depths, and it's just like you're always doing something
And then
new.
there's like characters you have to play backstories for, like Bancho. You have to play how like he fucked up the shark head dish
Yeah.
in the hotel.
Yeah, there's like pseudo visual novels. You go into like first person for some. There's so much shit. We'll talk about that in gameplay, but the story is great up until the absolute very last scene.
Are you talking about the very last with Cobra on the phone?
The rocket ship, dude.
Oh, that's a dream.
Dude, yeah, yeah, that's
I was a little
true.
confused too because the last scene is you see Cobra talking on the phone
Is that
after the
post
credits.
credits?
Yeah,
Oh my god, this game has post credits. This is the first game we've had that actually has post credits. What do you say on the phone?
nothing. He just like looks into the distance and talks on the phone and then looks back and hangs up.
Sick.
So it's implying something.
Yeah, story I wasn't too like super interested in, mainly because like I don't know. I guess I zoned out and didn't get the full thing of it.
Well,
But
I mean, it's basically just like, oh, there's this ancient fish people and they don't like humans, but then like you prove you're a good human and they need your help, so you help them.
yeah, and I was all up into it until like I got the Sea People Village, and they're like, "Okay, well, go give these guys lunch," and I'm like, I kind of like checked out, and I was like, "Okay, well, how do I advance the story?" You know?
Yeah, I mean, the story, it's not even like that. It's just the characters around it are so good, but yeah, like the
Yeah.
actual story's whatever.
Like I like the one mermaid where he's like, "I'm the best. I'm so sick." And then
Oh,
he
and he's
like
trash.
yeah, he like pulls a lever and tells everybody how sick he is because he fucking saved you and pulled a lever. Like yeah, the characters are so good. I think the chef is great, like a great character how he's
Fat
like
Brad's good.
Fat Brad's great.
Did you insta like did you instantly think that was Brad? Because I
Yeah,
did. I
cuz
was
he's
like, this is
building
just Brad.
guns. He's sitting there in his room
Never
that doesn't
leaving
have any
building
lights
guns.
basically, and he's just fucking staring at his anime and making guns, dude. And what's wild is Josh said that too, and I think
It,
Dave got in on it too. Like everybody just said that was Brad.
it's just Brad. Yeah, it's so fucking like it's crazy how close it is. I'm trying to think. There's like so many characters. That dude who wants you to take pictures.
Yeah. Oh, dude, even the fucking go and do this extremely inconvenient task for me, and it's for a fucking doll. It's like for something insignificant to him. It's just something that he wants, dude.
Oh yeah. So you can give you like a thing that you need.
Yeah, and he's like, "Oh, I need my anime figure or some shit like that." Um, but I don't know, like all of the upgrade scenes were so good, like across the board. I loved the phone and the social media.
Oh yeah, Cooksta.
Yeah, Cooksta, dude. I like liking all the posts so I get more exposure and all that. Um, the phone has a calculator, and I thought for sure there was something to do with the
Oh, I was
calculator.
trying to see like how much. I was like 9999. I was like, I wonder if how
Yeah,
much, and then it just goes to zero. I
I
was
would type
disappointed.
I would type boobs or something, and see what it does. I didn't look it up, but there's probably some calculator like cheat code shenanigan or something.
I'm assuming there has to be like a ton of shit in this game. That's like there's so much to this game.
Yeah, and I didn't come like the sushi restaurant was in shambles by the time I was in the end of it because I stopped doing the VIP stuff.
Oh really? I always did it because I liked like the cutscenes.
Well, they're like find the Stargazer. I got to the Stargazer one, and because that was after Hop Hepatuna.
Oh, yeah, I didn't. I ended up beating the game before I needed to do that. I was on the day of that one when I beat the game.
Yeah. Um. What else is there? There's just like the game has so much, but I don't know. When it comes to story, back to graphics too. Underwater, like in some sections, is just phenomenal. Like absolutely phenomenal. Bright, colorful, fucking put together. I thought it was a roguelite, like sort of like systemic. What do you call it?
It like sort of is, but not really.
Yeah, cause like the overall like layout of the map is the same, but like fish are in different places, sorta. But some fish are always in the same place. And then like
Yeah.
you get to tuna and shit, and like that changes stuff. And then there's night, which I only did once.
Oh, really? Did you ever do any of the Stormy Night things?
Yeah, but I never found the vortex.
Oh, I found two of them. They were sick. One was a hermit crab with a truck boss.
Nice.
He had a truck, and the other one was Oh, a mantis shrimp. That
Oh, with
boxed you.
boxing gloves? Yeah, I looked that one up because I
That
was
was fun.
I was showing people the game, and that was a boss run, and it was like fucking a punching shrimp. I thought that was sick. Um, but yeah, story is kind of meh. The characters are top tier though.
It's like not bad. I don't think the story's offensive.
No,
I just think there's parts that drag on. Chapter 6, especially.
yeah. Well, for me it was three. Uh, when you like first get into the thing, cause the fetch quests were lame, and I couldn't like. It didn't take as long as I thought it would, but I was just like dreading it. I'm like, oh, I don't want to go to this guy and do this for him and
Yeah.
that guy and do that for him, and I ended up doing it in probably like 45 minutes total. But
'Cause-
then like my biggest problem, and this is gonna be the transition into gameplay, I guess, is the game doesn't tell you when you just have to wait. Like
So yeah, sometimes they do it like it's kind of like a nonchalant way, but yeah, sometimes it's just like you gotta wait a day.
I must have wasted at least 10 hours of my gameplay, like floating around trying to figure out what to do, and then like going to sushi, and then floating around and figuring out what to do, and just waiting for like a new main quest to pop up. When in the only one time that I saw it was when you were firing the laser down into
Oh, at the end.
the deepest part, and they're like, you gotta wait a bit, and a bit ended up being 2 full days.
Yeah, because they say you gotta wait 2 days, which can take I mean, 2 days can take fucking 5 hours or 5 seconds, depending on
Yeah.
what you want, how you want it to be. You know?
And it's like, I don't know, I didn't know what to focus on. Like I at first, like I was focusing solely on sushi stuff,
Yeah.
and then like around chapter 4 I realized that the sushi is just there, and the farm is just there, and like the sea people are just there. Like they're actually telling you a story, and you're moving forward through that. It's not like get your sushi place up to like level master class to advance the story. No, the sushi is just there.
It
Like
sort of. I mean, you do need money to like because
yeah,
you are gear like locked, gate kept in a way from some of like the story, but other than that,
yeah. I
what?
think the only gear you actually need is the depth thing.
Yeah, I mean, because in theory you don't need strong weapon, but you don't need a strong harpoon, and I guess you could have like no oxygen and
Yeah.
make do.
Well, the second half of the game, I kept upgrading my harpoon all throughout the first half. Like
Yeah.
like throwing other shit that's more important to the wayside to upgrade this fucking harpoon. And then the second half of the game, all the bosses have mechanics. So it doesn't even
Yeah.
matter what you have.
It's like helpful for enemies, but yeah, every boss is like a new mechanic, and your weapons literally don't matter.
Yeah. Oh, my favorite character, John Watson or whatever the fuck his name is, dude.
He an eco-friendly and every time a complete hypocrite.
Yeah, dude, he's shooting rockets and fucking his wreckage is all over the place. He's destroying like fucking coral reef walls with rockets and shit,
And he
dude.
just shits on you every time.
I love that, dude. He's like, "You're not eco-friendly." He brings in like Somalian pirates to smack the shit out of you. Fucking
Well, dude, and you break into his facility, Metal Gear style.
yeah, even does the fucking Metal Gear game over, dude. And dude, when Dave rolls over the fucking
Oh my god, the
cardboard
40
boxes.
second, 4,000 frame animation, dude.
Yeah, dude, he just rolls over so slow. And
Waddling.
there was like a surprisingly tight section in that where you go into a freezer, go behind a crate, and then go into another freezer. Like I must have gotten a game over like 6 or 7 times on that.
And it's just crazy that like that's in a game about fishing and
Yeah.
cooking. Like, why is this here? It doesn't have to be. It's cool that it is.
Well, we are in gameplay, so like all right, so there's the main fishing, and then there's the sushi restaurant, and then there's the farming. and then there's like the 6 or 7 mini games in the what do you call it? Sea people area. So there's horse racing, and then there's the matching and
The
the
teeth thing.
yeah the ball game where you like the cup and ball game. Um, and then there's pseudo mini games where it's like cutting something open, um, or like taking a picture, and then there's all the puzzles, and then there's like and then there's combat, you know. So like there's like 70 things in this game, dude, and they just keep throwing it at you.
Yeah. Even like the characters, they all had like their own backstory mini game. Like with Dr. Bacon, you have to fucking drive the boat.
Yeah, and then there's a boat thing, which is like an old school like semi like racing game sort of, but it's not really racing, like Excite Bike or some shit like that. And then the final boss is a shoot 'em up.
Yeah. It's fucking all over the place.
Yeah, it's just like everything. They put in everything.
It helps it not get dull too, because like they're really constantly mixing it up.
At one point, you play as Fat Brad, his name's Duff, and you're in a dream and you're in like this anime concert where you're playing a rhythm game.
Or when you have to control the two characters with separately at the same time.
That was my favorite part of the game.
That was a great. I was like, because like the first part where you have to swap, I'm like, okay, this is like they always do shit like this. But then I was like, oh, okay, this is like another level to it.
Yeah, I thought it would be a huge pain in the ass. It wasn't. It was actually really satisfying to be like, okay,
They
I'm
did it
playing
super
both
well.
these guys. I wouldn't want to do it the whole game, but I think that section was the game's strong suit. Um, what game did that? Tales of the Abyss did that, where you're in the one section of the
Oh, you keep
dungeon and you
swapping.
keep swapping. But I think this game did it way better, where you're
Oh
playing
yeah,
both
that
of them at
shit
the
was
same time.
that shit was tedious. This was
Yeah.
nothing in this game's really tedious. Well, the fetch quests are tedious.
Yeah, and like,
And that's why I
yeah,
hated
the
chapter
fetch
6 so
quests.
much. Chapter 6 introduces farming, um the fish like mating thing.
Yeah.
You have to unlock the three
Oh, I
door. There's
forgot
like
about the fish tank and the mating.
yeah, all that's introduced in one chapter. That chapter literally is like 5 hours long because they just keep. I'm like, dude, they should have just broke that up more. And I don't know why they introduced all that shit at the end of the game.
Yeah.
Like being able to have the fish tanks early on would save so much time.
Yeah, and give you more consistent money because like money was going up steady, and then I hit a like plateau of money, and then it went down for the rest of the game. I never made as much money as I did in like chapter 3.
Yeah. Well, because you hit that first like what's it like the party for like I forget what it was. Not the it might be the tuna.
I think tuna was the first party. Shark is where I went crazy.
Yeah.
I got so much money on Shark.
Those events are crazy. I remember on tuna I made like 15,000 or so. I was like, dude, you can spend the money very quickly though.
Yeah, because you hit up 2 upgrades, and then like, okay, the third upgrade's $9,000. Which like I didn't really feel the upgrades, especially the air. Like,
Yeah, because the air is tied to your health, which is a cool idea, but it eventually becomes like once you get into like the high 200s, 300s, you don't really like run out of air. You just
yeah,
die from damage.
and like I really wish they had a speed upgrade. Having to wait around on a scooter because like you can't get any speed, and
You can ride the beluga, dude, for 7 jade coin or
it
buy.
yeah, I didn't spend any of my buy, like
Yeah, it was
none
just
of
for
it.
upgrade. It's like pointless shit. There's a charm that makes you swim faster.
Yeah, I don't know. I guess I should have gotten that. Like I had a little
I
dash, but that dash was nothing.
that dash I love the dash. Just because it didn't take like any of your oxygen, you could use it pretty often, and
Yeah.
you could use it if you were overweight, like from fucking having too many fish. It
Yeah.
wasn't affected, which was super nice.
which I stopped having a problem with like halfway through the game too. It's like because then you could send fish to your fucking then you can send fish to your thing, your
Oh, yeah,
fish
I
tank.
never upgraded that thing.
I got one for each one because I kept needing to fucking I was just had a hard on for this Cooking Mama Sushi game, dude. Like that was the
It's
main
pretty
game for
fun.
me.
It's pretty fun.
Like I had level 8 on all of my I only got 4 people, but I had them all
Level
up to level
8? I
8.
only got him to level like 4, I think.
Yeah, that's where all my money went, dude.
That's crazy.
Well, because you
Yeah,
get the chick, the traumatized chick, and she ends up like having like 580 cooking, and I'm like, okay, genius. And then like one of my guys, he looked terrifying. Like his eyes were wide open. He just looks. He had like 1,000 yard stare, but he had my most appeal. So he was in the dining room getting mad tips.
yeah, some of those people you can hire are ridiculous.
Yeah,
Like just character wise.
yeah. My mass appeal guy looked literally insane. Like he looked schizo. Um, but yeah, at some points it was really underwhelming, and at some points it was extremely overwhelming. Because it'll be overwhelming in like a really short burst, and then it's like everything's back to normal, which it kind of makes me go like, okay, well, not a lot of this shit matters. Not that it's fluff or not that it's padding. I don't think the game is padded aside from like player ignorance. Like I had the game
Yeah.
padded a lot because I didn't know that the game specifically stopgapped you by making you wait like in days. If they just had a little blurb that said next mission in X days or next mission in X hours, that would be way more helpful than giving me no main missions.
I think the game is paced weirdly. And if like they rearrange some shit it would be a lot better. But yeah, I don't think it's really padded because nothing's like pointless really. Like I get all the story beats why they're there. It makes sense. It's like, oh, okay, I get what they did there to show you this, to make you go over here. Like, oh, okay. Also, the game does really fucking well about like you know where to go with never having a map,
Yeah.
which is surprising.
Yeah, well,
Like,
because at first I was like, I'm gonna need a fucking map, and then because of how it's chunked out and like it's pretty memorable spots, you know. So it's like,
it's like
okay,
go to the sunken ship. Okay, it's like bottom left.
yeah, go to the blue hole, and then you get your fast travel points, which again I think we're way too late. There should have been a fast travel at the surface, a fast travel at the blue depths, and a fast travel at the what do you call it? Not the glacial one, but the dungeon. Having to go from the boat to the sea people village to the
Uh,
portal to the dungeon was stupid.
yeah. But that's the only one that's like really shitty. But yeah,
Yeah.
it is like you have to travel through like 3 or 4 points of entry to get where you want to go.
Yeah, it was just I guess it was bad timing because that was like right after a slew of fetch quests. And then once you're done with that, like at one point I had 4 people come up to my boat and 3 new mechanics introduced. Like all of that shit happened at the same time, and you
I
can't
hate it
save
when that
during the end of
happened.
it.
It was just like that shit should be spaced out more. Where people just "Rrr,
Yeah.
yo, listen to this, dude. Here's how you take pictures.
Yeah.
Rrr, come to the farm, dude. I'm gonna show you how to pick weeds. I'm like, dude, come on.
Yeah. Cause who was it? It was the Pokemon guy, it was the picture guy, it was the chick that had that's like an archaeologist or
You do
whatever.
any that shit would seem so pointless to me.
Yeah. I
Like,
did well, I started out doing everything and then I ended up doing nothing.
there's too much. Like, it's always like if I was a kid, this game would be, you know what I'm saying, where you have infinite time, and it's like this is the only game I'm gonna play for the next like month.
Yeah.
Like it's like solely like all I'm doing is playing this. Like there's just a lot of content and shit to like fuck around with.
Yeah, and I chipped away at it through the month. It's like I didn't dilly dally around. It just ended up being dilly dally because I didn't understand like what progressed the game. Like doing the main quest obviously, but I would sit there in the blue hole for like sorry, for like 45 minutes.
Yeah, because
and
like
just fish.
once you have enough oxygen, it's like you can constantly just find more oxygen, and
Yeah.
you can stay down there for so fucking long, and it's not that big. Like the area is not like insanely huge.
Nah, cuz like I mean there's some certain portions in the beginning of the game where it's like okay, you're going to spend some time here where there's like all of the air ducts, that keep pushing you into spikes. You're gonna want to make it through there and see what's in there. Turns out it's all dog shit.
Or those fucking areas with the worms, and you got to use the UV light in the beginning.
Yeah, but like none of those are really progressing the story. It's just you playing the game, which wasn't bad. It just was time I felt that was wasted playing the game, but only because it's game of the month. To play this game leisurely and to play this game for game of the month, I think are two vastly different things.
Yeah,
Because it's not like I was rushing. I just like was kind of a little bit bummed out that like that wasn't the way to do it. Like I thought it was like this open world undersea thing. No, it's like a very linear like like do this specific thing and then maybe wait and then do this very specific thing.
yeah, they definitely could have built it more like a roguelike easily. 'Cause there's like all the elements for it,
Yeah,
but it's more like just like it's very linear in the
it's
end.
it's almost like a Metroidvania.
Yeah, kinda.
Um
Because you have to like explore, you get a new upgrade that unlocks like another like door essentially.
I got sick of swimming. Um to be completely honest. At one point in the game I was like I really would much rather just have like a walk and a sprint and be like in a normal space cuz like I don't know if it was because I spent too much time like going through the portals and stuff and everything, but like it just was so slow. And then like you could swim all the way up to the top of the sea village for no reason, by the way.
Oh
Um,
yeah, I did that too. All
yeah,
the way up to the top of the tree. There's
yeah.
nothing up there.
But at one point they were like, go. It was like the second time of like go to the glacial thing right after you got done with the glacial thing, and then go into the bottom right and go into that cave. And I'm like,
For the beluga.
yeah, and I'm like, I don't want to swim there. It's gonna take so fucking long. There's a narwhal that's gonna chip me. There's a fucking big shark there that I'm gonna have to dip around, and then I'm gonna have to hit both of them on the way back. But there's a mirror there, so it didn't matter on the way back.
That that yeah, chapter 6 I just hated because it's like I feel like it progressed so much and then they're like the narwhal or the beluga's missing. Go find the beluga, which
Yeah,
sucked because I already explored that area. So I had to go back there. And it's like, oh, the octopus. So I had to follow the octopus to the door. And I'm like, oh, cool, the door that I already found.
yeah. And
And
then
then,
you get the beluga, right? And then you're like, oh, I could just go to the portal now because that's what the fucking I was guiding at this point. Um, so the guide was like, okay, now you get the beluga. Nope, you have to wait a day for no reason.
yeah. Well, you can kind of like know you have to wait a day because like there'll be no main quest.
Yeah, which
Which
I
I guess,
started to infer after that one. That was the
yeah.
last straw.
You didn't really need a guide for that. The only thing I had to look up, I'm like, where the fuck is this beluga?
I started guiding during the fetch quests because I couldn't figure out where to get the bone shards. There was like these bone
Oh,
things, and it's like it's next to fucking it's bone coral. I could see bone coral as part of the scenery in the background all over, and there was no bone coral that was like actually like there.
yeah, I didn't do that one.
Um,
I realized that they give you so many fetch quests that you don't even have to do all of them.
yeah, I realized that after the bone thing.
Yeah, so I just picked the ones that are the easiest.
Yeah, so like the beluga thing, I shouldn't have guided. I didn't guide for any of the puzzle dungeons because they're self-explanatory and easy. Um, I didn't
That's what I
really
was like.
look at the guide much aside from like end of chapter shit. Like for some reason whenever I would get to the end of a chapter, usually when I went to the guide, it was for a wait thing. It was like, "Do I need to wait
Yeah,
here?" And they're like, "Yeah." And I'm like, "Okay."
because the game's really not like that confusing.
No.
It's pretty like pushes you where to go, and it's like the puzzles are kind of like piss easy.
No, but it's not like Immortal Phoenix Rising, like, because I now classify those as like an entirely separate, different type of puzzle. So, like,
Yeah.
they give you the puzzles in Dave the Diver in a way where, like, it's little sections, and you break it apart piece by piece, and you do each piece at a time. Whereas in Immortals, it would give you the whole thing, and you'd be like, okay, I figured it out. And you spend the next 15, 20 minutes doing what it wants you to
Yeah,
do.
I hate that. The Dave the Diver way is way better.
Yeah.
I feel like Crosscode kind of did the Dave the Diver thing, except later on where they're like, now it's the whole fucking
Yeah,
screen
two
is the
screens,
puzzle.
not even the whole
Yeah,
screen. That one that took two screens,
yeah. If
dude.
the and it's like even if you look up a guide, it's like, oh no, the execution is so tight on this. Good
Yeah.
fucking luck. It
Two
doesn't
s-
even matter that you know.
Yeah, two screens with tight execution. That's still I am so happy we beat Crosscode. Doing that puzzle cuz I spent I think 2.5 days on that puzzle just grinding it out.
Shit was insane, and that was
Yeah.
on like normal difficulty, which you can make the puzzle fucking harder.
Yeah, you could make it harder and you can slow it down, and I refused to slow it down, dude. I couldn't. I was just like fucking. I did make the game easier on one portion though for Crosscode.
The boss, right?
Yeah, there was a lava boss, and I kept dying on the lava boss. But I think that's the only one I did. But no, I saw you could slow down puzzles, and I'm like, dude, I can't do it.
Indie games might just be the way, because that game was great. This game's great.
Yeah, this game is great. It really is, and I keep flipping on two scores that I want to give it.
That's what I've been doing too.
Yeah, it's rough. Um, Overall opinion on the game, for me, I guess it'd be like mechanically it's sound. There was neither a glitch nor a freeze nor a portion of the game that was bugged or a section of the game I thought was too cheap or badly like put. Like everything in this game is sound. Like it's a solid game and it works. Like flat out works. There's no game breaking, nothing. But I don't fucking love the game. Like I want to, but I just don't. I think it's a little
Yeah,
bit too slow, a little bit too boring, a little bit too like even with all
yeah.
of its stuff.
And it's like there's so much variety too. It's like I appreciate like there's so many different fucking fish. There's so many bosses, which is cool. There's like very little rehash. Like I fought one boss and I'm like, oh, this is like there's none of the like, oh, you fight this boss and now it's a normal enemy. Like every boss is a fucking huge unique encounter.
But like all that being said, I don't think the game would entice me enough to beat it without doing this. Like
Yeah, well, cause
I wasn't racing to be like, oh, what happens next in Dave the Diver? At first I was, but they lost something with me somewhere.
dude,
Like,
it's I swear to God, it's just too relaxing.
yeah,
It becomes like I would rather just be like I would almost rather this game be like a Stardew Valley esque like I'm just working on my fish farm and making money and improving my farm. Like in a sense, this game's almost hurt by it having like an end.
yeah.
It would almost be better off being endless in a way.
Because it's like, it does all of these things, and it does them good enough to be like, wow, they actually like put this in there. But it doesn't do any of them well enough for them to stand on their own. I think the sushi could like is like the best example. The sushi is well thought out and a lot of stuff with it, but the farming is mid.
That shit
The
was pointless.
Yeah, the farming is mid. The mini games, like especially the horse racing, is mid.
What about the
Um,
Tamagotchi?
the Tamagotchi is mid. The fish garden or whatever you want to call it is mid. Like it's sick that all of them are in the game, but they're not fleshed out enough to be like, okay, this is something it's fleshed out enough to be like, I am astonished that they put all the effort into doing it on top of that.
Yeah, especially because this is like a $20 game too. There's a lot of shit for $20.
Um,
What I think it does better too is like the mechanics it introduces in the story that like they just come and go. Because like where you control two characters, that's cool. Or the final boss where it's a shoot 'em up, that's cool. But it's like those things are cool because it's like one and done.
yeah.
Where it's like the fish farms, it's like this is the fish farm, and it just kind of sucks.
Yeah, even the weapons. Like I was like really interested in all the weapons I get. Turns out there's like 6 weapons.
That is one thing that's disappointing is the weapon. Although the melee weapons are cool, but you don't get to keep them.
Yeah, that I never understood that. 'Cause like you get to keep the weapons that you pick up.
So
Like
I mean, like yeah, you unlock them and then you can build, which is cool,
yeah, but I want to build the fucking go to sleep hammer, the
right?
the little
Or
squeak
fucking
toy hammer that sleeps people.
how long did it take you to figure out that you had to grab the bat and charge it in that John Watson fight?
I almost did it without doing that.
That's what I tried for fucking like 10 times, and then I'm like, why is there a bat? And Dave's like, oh, I could probably hit these back. I'm like, dude, why did the game take this long to tell me? And then I was like, oh, and then it took fucking 5 minutes.
Yeah,
I was
because
like,
you could just kite the rocket back at him. But if you get the bat, it does like double damage for some reason.
yeah, I was swimming in circles trying to beat this dude. So dumb.
And then like you could also hit the mines that he shoots out too
Yeah.
with the bat. Which I was scared to try because they're proximity mines that explode. So why would I hit a bomb? But
And then they what you call it? There's like a samurai sword. There's a fucking sea snake.
yeah, there's no builds in this game. Like I ran sniper for a little bit, but then you end up like just picking up what you go along, and you can upgrade your harpoon, but you can't upgrade your harpoon tip.
Yeah,
You have
which is
to
what I
pick those
want.
up.
Like I want like a level 4 electric tip, dude, with the proximity shock effect. Like, dude,
Yeah.
that bummed me out.
So it's like I don't want to say half-assed, underwhelming. Everything in this game it's like the sheer it's quantity over quality in this game.
Except the two things I'll give it, art is like top notch for pixel art,
Yeah.
and the characters are like so memorable. The characters are great. Some
Yeah.
of my favorite characters in the game I played in like a long time. Even though a lot of them are like satire, I think it's done super well.
Yeah, characters and art are in a league of their own. I wish it had story to back it up, but again, underwhelming.
Doesn't hurt it, but yeah, it doesn't.
No.
It's not adding anything.
Uh, I give this game an 8.
See, at one point I was like 7 when I was like falling asleep. I'm like, this is 7. It ain't bad, but and I was getting bummed out because like when I heard about the game, everyone like it's like game of the year. One of the like this
No,
game's so good.
no,
I mean,
no,
look at the
no,
Steam
no,
reviews, dude.
no.
They're overwhelmingly positive. So I was a little let down because people really hyped it up, and it's definitely not. It's overhyped, 100%. It's not nearly as good as I was led to believe, but it's not bad, and I'd probably go with an 8. Like after finishing it,
Yeah,
it
because I want to give the game a higher score because there's like I don't know. I'll give it like a seal of approval, I guess, like a fucking like a golden kitten award or some shit like that, dude.
well, I
Because
think we're the same, where it's like we both respect exactly what this game like. It's a good game, but it's like not for me.
yeah, respect is the best word. I have a lot of respect for this game. I think that heart and soul and a lot of man hours went into this game. A lot of ideas where they're like just like fuck it, dude, and throw it at the wall,
Yeah,
and they
Metal Gear Solid, fucking.
yeah. what if our weapons upgrade guy was his actual own character, dude, and instead of upgrading, he was like this anime fucking weeb
Loser.
guy. Dude, well, hang on, let's put a fucking dream sequence in where he gets all his anime figurines and they play Beat Saber.
Or how about Ash Ketchum rides on a fucking duck paddle
Yeah,
boat, dude? That's a piece of shit.
like
And he's fat.
honestly, a lot of their jokes hit, a lot of their fucking ideas worked, like everything really panned out. And
Like
I really think 8 is a harsh score for it, but it's not for me.
it's because yeah, it's like in my complaints are more so it's like yeah, I could see why someone gives it a 10, but I could never because it's not that fun at the end of the day.
No, and I think a lot of it is tied to movement speed. If I could at the end of the game be fucking zipping, and pew pew,
Yeah.
and fucking like, but at the end of the day, you are Dave and you are diving, and that doesn't really change. Like overall, even with all of the mechanics and all of the mini games and everything else, like gameplay stays pretty much exactly the same
Well, yeah,
throughout.
the core gameplay loop it gets like stale,
Yeah,
which is probably why they fucking added so many variations throughout the game.
yeah, and
Because yeah, diving, shooting fish, and cooking sushi only goes so far.
yeah, and the sushi mini game was infinitely more like interesting to me than the actual swimming, which is wild because you're essentially playing Cooking Mama. This is like every Flash game you ever played put into one game.
Yeah, I mean
Um,
the sushi at one point you're doing nothing.
yeah,
You basically just hire people to do all the work, and you kind of just like I think the only thing you actually have to do is the wasabi.
yeah, I was all over the wasabi, and then I would actually get pissed if they're like, because I was going for perfect scores on beer pours every single time, and I'm
I
like,
could, dude. I don't think I ever got better than a good on a beer pour. I
that's
couldn't
wild.
do it. I couldn't do it. Green tea though,
Green
perfect
tea, yeah,
always.
the Shrek sludge, dude, where he pours the sludge on himself to clean himself in Shrek 1, dude. That's what that tea was, dude. That was some thick ass tea. But yeah, I get huge 8, like a big bold capital letter 8, dude, cuz like
It's worth playing, and it's a good game,
yeah.
and I think it's funny. I enjoy the character. Like I'll think about the characters, if anything, throughout. Like when I think about the game, because shit did make me laugh, legitimately.
Yeah, at one point I it was earlier today actually because I thought about it a lot today because I knew the podcast was happening today. I'm like, am I giving this an 8 or a fucking 9, dude? And it's not a 9. It's not. It's too boring.
Yeah, I couldn't go to a 9. It's just like it wasn't like captivating enough at
Yeah.
all. It's good though.
But
It's
in the
worth
beginning
playing.
it was cuz like in the beginning you don't know anything. It's just like okay, you're a diver, cuz it's grounded.
Yeah,
And then it gets out of hand. And then once it gets out of hand it's like okay, go dive again.
yeah. That's like the most boring part of the game at that point.
Yeah, so eight's across the board. Next game it might be in the same boat.
The same boat.
Yeah, it might be in the same boat. Oh, no pun intended though.
I
Taking a
was gonna
risk
say
on this one.
better not be a fucking fishing game, dude.
Taking a risk. It's not a fishing game.
I'm good on water for a bit.
Yeah, no, we're staying on land for this one. In fact, I don't even think you're gonna touch water because you're playing Stray. You're a cat.
Oh, well, you know what? That's a good pick.
You say that now. I don't know how it's gonna be. All I know is that trailer. I haven't looked anything into it.
This possibly can't backfire, and this
Yeah.
possibly can't be a shit game that you were convinced was good by reviewers.
Yeah, no, I'm back to not vetting games because that went so well for me.
I got faith in this one. The last
Yeah.
one, Vanquish, wasn't bad, so
Yeah. It Vanquished was a mixed bag for me. This was I will say that about Dave the Diver. It was not a bad bag. It was not mixed. It was just a big bag of stuff. Like,
Well, yeah, because all my complaints about the game are basically like, yeah, it wasn't really for me, or it's like, it could have been faster. But it's not like this is like a bad. Like I can't explain any aspect of Dave the Diver. Be like, this is bad.
yeah.
Like, because it's not. It's all good. Just some of it's not for me.
Yeah, like I loved Vanquished. I can't give Vanquished a 9, but I really do enjoy that game. I fell through the fucking map in that game. Like
Yeah.
nothing like that happened in Dave the Diver. Nothing even close. Like it is a rock solid game
And
mechanically.
there's no comically large head-sized cigarette in Dave the Diver.
Yeah. I still love that dude. He takes out a cigarette, takes a
So
puff,
fucking
flicks
stupid.
it. He fucking stops a bullet with it.
Shit's insane.
It gets me every time. Um, yeah, going with Stray. We're being a kitty cat. I doubt a game where you get to play a kitty cat is going to be like horrible. You
Can't be
know?
worse than a 7.
Yeah.
There's no way.
Because you're getting. I know exactly what to expect with this game. I'm gonna play as a cat. Whatever happens after that is gravy.
Or it's horrible.
Or it sucks. Or the game doesn't work. That's a possibility
Because
too.
cats can suck.
Yeah.
They're not always great.
Any closing statements?
Play Dave the Diver. It's
Yeah.
decent. Well, it's not decent. It's good.
By all means, like, and I hope the development team makes more games. Not necessarily Dave the Diver 2, because I think that their team is well versed enough to do whatever they want, genuinely.
Also a Korean game, taking over the world.
Is it a Korean game?
Yeah, it was published by Nexon.
Dave the Diver was?
Yeah.
Take that, Dark and Darker.
Crazy. Hopefully Fat Brad makes a return.
Yeah. Oh my god. But yeah, I'm gonna huge recommend on Dave the Diver, just not a 10. All right, that's it.
That'll do.